This is the unboxing of the Samsung A17 5G. I'll also share my impressions of its design and main specs. These budget phones keep looking better and better, though I can't say the same about the quality of the box. As you can see, this year it comes with two loose flaps. The seals are intact, no issue there, but it's strange to notice the extra loose paper along the sides. So if you spot the same thing, don't worry. That's just how they made the box. Now let's see what's inside. The box slides open and inside we find a compartment sitting on top of the phone. Beneath it, there's the A17 wrapped in soft paper. The same smooth wrapping Samsung always uses for this entry-level model. This year, there's a small pull tab to lift the phone out. A nice touch. We'll unwrap the phone a bit later. Beneath the phone, there's some extra space lift, but there's nothing stored there. Where we do find something is in the compartment that was resting on top of the phone. Here's the SIM tray tool. Inside the container, we get the usual Samsung paperwork, including the quick start guide and the standard USB-C to USB-C cable. Let's unwrap the phone now. I have to say right away, this phone feels really good in the hand. It's very thin, and once you take it out and see the new design, you forget you're holding an entry-level device. The A17 looks like a premium phone. It features a new camera layout where the lenses are enclosed in a single capsule, and the sleek reflections of this black model makes it feel like you're holding a $500 smartphone, not something you just picked up for $200. I'm not exaggerating, I honestly think it looks great. On the sides, the frame is made out of plastic, but it almost looks like metal. Here, on the left side, we also find the SIM tray, and surprise, that SIM tray includes a microSD card slot for memory expansion. Nice! I'll talk more about that a bit later. On the right side of the phone, we have the volume buttons and the power button, which also doubles as a fingerprint reader. On the top, there's a noise-canceling microphone, and on the bottom, as usual, the speaker, USB-C charging port, and the regular mic. When we power up the phone, we see the same teardrop notch as an A17's predecessor, but I can tell that the display feels just a bit brighter. Let me clear everything off the table and then I'll go over the main specs in more detail. When it comes to size, the A17 is 0.4mm thinner than the A16. It feels much more comfortable in your hand. Even though it's still a big phone, it's now also very slim, so it's easier to handle and control. The A17 is also 8 grams lighter than the A16. I'm not gonna lie, entry-level phones usually get only small upgrades each year, but this time, in terms of size and weight, we do see some really nice improvements. Looking at the display, we find a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED screen with a 90Hz refresh rate, which is fine, the same as the A16. The resolution and screen-to-body ratio haven't changed either. The one thing that does seem different is peak brightness. Even though both are rated at 800 nits, the A17 does appear just a bit brighter. An important upgrade is immediately noticeable when we look at build quality. The A17 now features Gorilla Glass Victus on the front, a plastic frame, and a glass fiber back. On the previous model, there was only standard glass on the front, a plastic frame, and a plastic back. So the A17 definitely has better build materials, not to mention a sleek design that gives a premium feel. The IP54 protection is also present on the newer model, which means it's safeguarded against dust and water splashes. When it comes to software, the A17 will receive 6 Android updates, a big number, just like the previous model. The difference is that the A17 comes with Android 15 and One UI 7, a newer and more polished OS. Looking at the cameras, we have a 13-megapixel selfie camera, a 50-megapixel main camera, a 5-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 2-megapixel macro. Their performance is solid for a budget phone, and Samsung now claims that night shots look better. An important upgrade is optical image stabilization, which is now included on the main camera. This is fantastic as it was missing on the A16. With this, you'll get much steadier shots. For video, the phone supports Full HD recording at 30 frames per second on all of its cameras. In terms of RAM and storage, the base model comes with 128GB of internal storage and 4GB of RAM. You can also choose versions with more storage and RAM for a few extra dollars. While we're on the topic, it's worth mentioning that the SIM tray with its microSD card slot gives your A17 a massive storage boost. You can put a card in there of up to 2 TB. As for hardware performance, I have to say that the A17 basically uses the same hardware we saw in the A16, which delivers decent performance. I would strongly recommend that if you're planning to get the Samsung A17, go for the 5G version. It has a better CPU and GPU, so you'll experience less lag. Finally, the battery remains unchanged, with a 5000 mAh capacity and 25 watts fast charging, which is still pretty good. In conclusion, Samsung's most affordable phone has definitely improved. It's much thinner and more comfortable to hold, 8 grams lighter, and features better build quality with Gorilla Glass Victus and a sleek premium-looking design. The cameras have also been upgraded, especially the main one, which now comes with optical image stabilization. An unexpected but welcome addition. If you're on a budget and planning to get the A17, I'd say it's a solid choice. price. Just remember my recommendation. Go for the 5G version as it comes with better hardware. If you enjoyed this unboxing and quick look at the specs, hit that like button and make sure to watch one of my other videos that you now see on the screen. Take care everyone.